Chad Stubenbort.
Chad Stubenbort, resident of Monroeville. First, I just want to take 30 seconds and tell everyone about an event coming up at Gateway September 18th. We'll start at 6:30. It's an event that's going to be held, sponsored by both Forbes Regional Hospital and the Pennsylvania State Police, involving information about human trafficking. That portion will be done by Forbes Hospital. So I want to thank Mark Rubino over there.
At the high school?
At the high school auditorium, correct. So again, that's September 18th, 6:30. For the first hour, we'll be going over human trafficking. And then for the next hour, the Pennsylvania State Police will be offering parents and teachers advice on internet safety and social media safety for their children.
In the auditorium?
Yep, in the auditorium. It is not recommended for children to attend because there is sensitive material in the human trafficking portion. Because of that, we are going to offer free babysitting, so if you can't come unless you have your child, Tracy Riccardi, one of the home ec teachers, has stepped up to the plate along with local Girl Scout troops who will offer free babysitting in the dance studio adjacent to the auditorium. So wanted to invite all of council and everyone in the public to that as well. Next thing I wanted to discuss was the comprehensive annual financial report, says prepared by Josephine Rock, who's not here this evening. I just kind of wanted to go through the goals quickly and ask a few questions. So goal number 1 was develop and diversify the business structure with objectives to expand the commercial professional service tax base. Example, information technology, finance, insurance, healthcare services, to build strong relationships with economic strategy. With that being said, just released today through one of my contacts I received from Seattle actually, there's an RFP that just went out from Amazon. They're actually building a second headquarter, and you only have a month to submit. It has to be in by October 19th. But I am urging council to definitely consider and really urging you guys to apply. It says it can bring 50,000 full-time employees with an average annual salary exceeding $100,000. I went through all of the site requirements, and we do meet all of the site requirements. So 30 miles within a population hub of 1 million people, or within 1 million of Pittsburgh. Within 45 miles of the airport, we meet that requirement. Not more than 2 miles away from major highways, well, we obviously meet that as well. Initial square footage of 500,000. We have 2 very large commercial properties available right now in Monroeville. So I will give you this to you, Mr. Little, and if council is at all interested, I would love to see us try to compete for that. I'm sure county council would also be willing to help with that. Obviously, any type of...
The county's supplying as well. I saw that as well.
Yeah, and there's...
So I don't know that they're going to help us.
Well, anywhere in the county, they're making tax revenue off of it. So I would strongly urge us to look at considering that. The other one that I just wanted to touch on briefly, well, goal 4, so there's only 5 goals. Goal 4 is the joint comprehensive plan. I do want to, again, applaud you guys for taking part of that. I know that was through a grant, so that is a good initiative. The last one, goal 5, it says continue to evaluate the municipal separate storm sewer system program as it relates to the implementation of a flat fee for all property owners to repair an aging storm sewer systems infrastructure. So my question I have is, I know I've been up here, I believe on 2 or 3 occasions asking about the fee, and I know it's been placed on the back burner. We haven't discussed it in a while. If I'm not mistaken, Josephine started on April 10th, correct? So 5 short months ago. She authored this, and one of the 5 goals is implementation of the flat fee. So someone's lying. I'm not going to point any fingers. I just would like to really ask where we are at with this, right? So a year ago, almost to the date, the school district received a letter as one of the 20 largest participants and said, okay, if we go through with this, the proposal is you owe $74,000, right? The mall owes $175,000. In total, the municipality would pay about collect $2.5 million by way of fee or tax. It came up in the newspaper following that. The MS4 plan was posted online with a 30-day window available. Mr. Little, you again were quoted in a newspaper article more recently, I believe last week, regarding the MS4 and the the cost of that to multiple municipalities. It wasn't just specific to Monroeville. And now, just last week, again on your guys' website, it says Goal 5 to have this fee. The next paragraph down says major initiatives, and it says the municipal code, which you guys are looking at, and then the next one's analyzing the municipal separate storm sewer system program and evaluating how to pay for a 5-year capital improvement program. So with that, I would just like to ask, where are we at with it? I mean, it's obviously not on the back burner if it's continually coming up. So are we continually evaluating that? Are we going to evaluate that after November? When are we going to discuss that?
Is that all the comments you have?
That's all the comments I have.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Little, Mr. Hugus, could you explain to the public two things we're talking about? We're talking about the pollution reduction plan, MS4 pollution reduction plan, which is required, and we're doing through the DEP in order to maintain our permit application annually. That's what the 30-day window of comment period is for. Jamie Story was up here 2 months ago presenting our MS4 plan, which is unrelated to any sort of fee or funding of that plan, but it's an annual thing that we have to do in order to stay compliant.
Correct.
That's correct. And when is the deadline for?
The MS4 application has to be submitted by next Friday. The pollution reduction plan has to be submitted with that application to the DEP.
Okay.
That was the premise of the hearing, or I'm sorry, the meeting last month.
All right. But just so the public is aware, the window that's being referred to as far as the comment period, that is only on that permit application that we keep talking about. It has nothing to do with any kind of funding or fee. If, in fact, this council or any council decides to enact any kind of fee or structure to pay for these things, it would go through the public scrutiny as every other ordinance does. It would have to be done by ordinance. We'd be advertising it. We'd be discussing it like we discuss every other piece of business in Monroeville. But those are two separate things. As far as costs, they can be reduced through partnerships, sponsorships, grants. The staff is still exploring these things, but as far as any kind of fee involved with this, there's nothing that's on our agenda at this point.
Respectfully, if I may.
Mr. Little, do you have anything else to comment?
No, you said it all. I could not have said it better. I mean, they're kind of two separate things with respect to the MPDS permit and the fee. The application has to go in, as Mr. Hugus said, by next Friday, but the fee issue is separate, and as Chad, as you quoted, it's on the back burner.
On Goal 5, it has them in one section. Is that a
Well,
misprint?
we're sticking to our 5-minute comment period. If anyone else would like to address council?
Chad, if you want to talk to me after the meeting, you're more than welcome to, okay?
Likewise, Chad. I mean, and certainly, too, we're trying to stick to a 5-minute comment period for everybody, but certainly if someone feels that their questions aren't fully answered, we'd be happy to stick around afterwards to answer those questions. And once again, you have another opportunity next Tuesday at the council meeting. If it's on the agenda, you can comment on it prior to us voting. However, at the end of the meeting, you also have an opportunity to speak about any municipal issue whatsoever on the Tuesday meeting. So